Hi, Dave Z here from Shapiro Mac. Wanted to address an issue that's been coming up a lot lately in regards to DUI law. The DUI videos that we shoot or that I shot previously have always been the most popular, and they've usually focused on the breath test. Everybody wants to know, do I take the breath test, do I refuse the breath test? I have a whole line of videos and articles on that. For the most part, I always say to refuse the breath test. And what I want to do in this video is back up a little bit, because there's going to be a lot of things that happen in a normal DUI situation before the breath test. And the primary thing is the administration of field sobriety tests. The typical situation is that a person gets pulled over for a traffic offense or an equipment violation like a taillight out, and an officer generally will say they maybe smell an odor of alcohol, or they notice the person's complexion is flushed or eyes are red, and then they will ask the person to get out and do field sobriety tests. This is an area where I'm always baffled. The police at that point have some suspicion that a crime is being committed, and that crime is driving under the influence. And first and foremost, I'm not advocating for drinking and driving. I always say this: the absolute best policy is to have no alcohol and drive a car. That's my personal policy. But as a criminal defense lawyer, I have to advise people that if you are alleged to have committed any crime whatsoever, the last thing on earth that you want to do is give any information that corroborates that suspicion. And that's exactly what field sobriety tests are. To me, field sobriety tests are absolutely insane. So if a person is asked to get out of the car and do field sobriety tests, the answer should be no. Flat out no. One that is alleged to have committed a crime should refuse everything conceivable to refuse. They should refuse. They should turn into a mute. They should say nothing. If a person were to ask, if I were alleged to have committed a DUI and an officer asked me, have you had anything to drink? I would say, I wouldn't lie to them. I would never lie to anyone. But I would say, I would like to contact my attorney before I answer any of your questions. Will you get out of the car and do field sobriety tests? No, officer, I won't. I just won't. Well, we have to arrest you then. Okay, because they're going to arrest you anyway. Here's the deal with the field sobriety test. There are three. One of them is the eye test. They take a pen and they ask you to follow a stimulus with your eyes. They're looking for you to have what's called nystagmus. Nystagmus is a medical condition whereby your eyes shudder when they move. Alcohol causes nystagmus. Any level of alcohol will cause nystagmus, even though some level of alcohol is legal to be in one's system. But also, there's 38 other things that cause nystagmus, including genetics. So that test, why take it? It is going to harm you. The next test, they will ask you to walk on an imaginary line 9 steps up on the side of a highway in the middle of the night while being confronted with a police officer with a badge and a gun while you're petrified. And then do a military-style turn and turn back the whole time, counting out loud, keeping your arms to your sides, and staying on the line, touching heel to toe. Come on. No one's passing that test. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're an Olympic gymnast. Under those conditions, you're failing the test. The other test is to stand on one foot, put your head back, and count on one foot for up to 1,030 using special verbal commands on the side of a busy highway, cars likely whizzing by you. Come on! You're failing. You're failing the test. That's it. It doesn't matter what kind of level of intoxication you are. And the interesting thing is, every clue there is chalked up to being intoxicated, not being difficult tests. The last time I had a DUI trial, this is the analogy I used. I'm pretty athletic. I'm good at sports. I suck at golf. I took a golf lesson one time, and the instructor was trying to teach me how to drive a golf ball. And involved in this scenario was like 100 different things. I had to stand with my butt out, my arms in a certain position, with my finger and my pinky locked up. My elbow was supposed to be cocked, and bringing this club back. There's like 1,000 different things I had to do. Well, what did I do? I immediately grabbed the club, thought that I set up right, hit the ball, and like whiffed it. And to me, that's very similar to field sobriety tests. An officer, he tells you how to do a test, and real quick, they demonstrate it, just like the golf instructor did for me, and then they ask you to do it, and anything you do wrong is chalked up to impairment. What if that golf instructor said to me, you have to do this exactly right, and I didn't do it exactly right, and he said, man, you must be impaired. Come on. There's no penalty for refusing field sobriety tests. None. You may get arrested because of the other things, like an odor of alcohol or slurred speech or whatever that you were doing wrong when you drove, but that is going to happen anyway. The whole process of an interaction with a police officer is for them to attain evidence to eventually use against you in court. Why give it? There is a penalty for refusing the breath test, which I've described many times is at the Motor Vehicle Administration. I would say that penalty is vastly less than the one that one would be facing in court, so it's worth it. But there is no penalty for refusing field sobriety tests. There's no penalty for asserting your right to contact an attorney. So, just last week I had a call from somebody in the middle of the night, because we have all these ways to contact us now with the emergency line and the Facebook and the Twitter and the Skype and all that. Somebody called and I actually am the one who answered the phone, and they called me before they did field sobriety tests. I said to them, you shouldn't do field sobriety tests. You should go ahead and refuse that. And I heard the officer, while I had the phone to my ear, saying, you have to take the field sobriety test, to the guy that refused. And I said to him on the phone, look, I don't know what that officer is talking about. You don't have to take field sobriety tests. How can someone force you to do a physical act? That's what I said on the phone. What's he going to do? Put a gun to your head and make you do field sobriety tests? Imagine the court scenario there. How do you think a person's going to perform on a physical test with a gun to their head? You can't force a person to do a physical act. This is a free country. The laws in the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights protect individuals' freedoms, and that's why I get so jazzed up about these videos. That's all I want to say, is that there is something that happens before the breath test, and that's field sobriety tests. I get asked all the time, do I have to do field sobriety tests? The answer is no. Whether this video pleases you or not, that's the answer. You don't have to do it. And my personal opinion is that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying that that is right or wrong. That's just my opinion. Because I'm the one doing the video, I'm going to put it out there. That's it. Alright, so if you want more information on this, add some stuff to the comments. I'll gladly reply via video to any additional questions. You can also check out ShapiroMac.com, HowardCountyDUI.com, HowardCountyPersonalInjury.com, Facebook, Twitter, Skype, YouTube. It's all there. And also, www.refuseeverything will be coming out fairly soon. It's under construction now via DUI blog. Alright, thanks a lot.